Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So today, I figured I'll just do a quick little video here where I'll be discussing some giant monster stuff. Kaiju, why not? I've done videos like this before, so I just thought, what the hell, why not? Why not do another one, I suppose? So, okay, just want to do a quick little discussion here where there's a certain director that wants to make some comment about some movies. And yes, this director, yes, of course, his movie has been getting a lot of buzz over the last few months or so, something like that, I guess, because of course he's the one guy who directed Godzilla Minus One, which yes, like I said before in my own review for it, it's a really good film. It's definitely one of the best out there, and I like the overall tone. They really make it like extremely scary, and he wants to make his own comment, um, the MonsterVerse, of course. Which, yes, obviously, before anyone says anything, it's quite clear this it's a stark contrast. It's very, very different compared to each other. Like, for example, even talk about the new Godzilla Kong movie, you can tell it's more, uh, yeah, the tone is off. The tone is really different compared to, let's say, Shin Godzilla. And yes, of course, when you think about it, the new Godzilla films, like, they come off more campy in comparison. They come way more camp in comparison to his version of the character, of course. They don't belong in the same continuity, obviously. This is like two separate continuities. But anyway, but that's kind of the point of what I'm trying to say here. And yes, it has something to do with his remarks on the Monsterverse. Because he wants to say his own opinion. Now, I guess he must have seen him, I suppose, obviously. So basically, what he's saying is that, yeah, they're fun movies. I guess with the exception of 2014 Godzilla film did come off far more serious and in the first installment of this series, but then yes, as it progressed, it got more camp. I guess you can say. In other words, I mean, yes, okay. So to be fair here is that same thing happened with the original series of films from the 60s, 70s. They became rather campy in a lot of ways because case in point,
I just wanted to see you.
Your folks will get kind of worried, won't they?
I don't think so.
Oh, dear God, no!
as I was saying, folks, yes, I kind of understand as to why he would say this, of course, because considering the fact that he made his own kaiju movie. So, yes, obviously, he wanted to make his own statement in regards to this. So, yes, it was a pretty positive one, I guess, because he went on to say that the Hollywood interpretation of Godzilla is very interesting use of the IP. It can be endured and just survive in many different interpretations. And for him, it's more of a fun version of what Godzilla can be. And this could be Toho's way to whether Toho's vision did explore something like that at some point in his history, referring to the older movies, of course, within that genre. He thinks that they can do a good job of balancing what the human characters can do versus what the kaiju is doing. And I mean, to some extent, yes, you can. I can see what he's saying. You have the storyline where the human characters can be doing their own thing, while simultaneously the human characters can be doing their own thing versus what the giant monsters can be doing in their own way. And that's fine. I mean, granted, a lot of the other movies pretty much did just that, comparing what the humans are doing and what the giant monsters are doing, of course. And yes, it could somehow intertwine some kind of way, depending on the story. You could do it in various different ways, obviously, and what you could do in these kinds of stories. Just like how in Godzilla's Hedra, in that movie, the human characters had to find a way how did Hedra come to life, and Godzilla had to pretty much fight him off, of course. Then compare this to, let's say, how the human drama in Godzilla's Megaguirus, dealing with the military, and of course Godzilla himself has to take care of the monster. Stuff like this, they could intertwine in some sort of fashion, some kind of way, So what he was saying there is not really that much of a stretch, not really, if you think about it. And that's okay, I guess. But anyway, it's quite clear he's showing some appreciation for this kind of a thing, even though compared to his movie, it's far more serious. Godzilla Minus One is far more serious compared to the other movies, which personally speaking, I prefer it to be more serious. But that's just me though, I guess. To have this gloom and doom feeling depressing kind of overall tone, yes, it may not be for everybody, of course. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, really. But that's the way it started. So as far as I'm concerned, that's how it should stay, I guess. But again, that's just me though. That's how I should. Just like how the film Godzilla Raids Again was far more somber compared to some of the other entries of the series. I actually didn't mind that really, as far as I'm concerned, because that's how it's supposed to have been. So when Godzilla Minus One came out, and it was like just really on the grim side of things when it comes to these human characters, and just considering everything else when it comes to post World War II Japan. Yes, obviously it's gonna be really stressful, and I was fine with that really because again, that's how this entire thing started with something in the lines of that. Really, when you think about it, so it didn't bother me at all. That was fine, really. I guess he was still viewing this as a positive thing because it could vary from movie to movie depending on what the story is about, I guess, because of the fact that I guess he's trying to say that it could be flexible in some ways, and I could see what he means when he says that. Sure, whatever, but yeah, just something I want to discuss here because it has something to do with giant monsters, it has something to do with creatures and whatnot. So I just thought this would be a great way to just to do more monster stuff, more kaiju stuff, of course, because I don't mind it really. So yeah, Godzilla Minus One definitely returns to the more darker roots in the franchise, but I guess in other words, he was trying to be more appreciative that these movies are still being made in one way or another, I suppose. And I guess that's just how he felt about it. That's fine. I just wanted to make this remark on Godzilla Minus One in some ways because Godzilla Minus One definitely goes back to the franchise's darker roots, from exploring the impact of this monster on a nation as the nation itself attempts to rebuild itself due to the nuclear bomb. And yes, of course, Godzilla Minus One became one of the biggest box office successes around here, and that's in itself could be an accomplishment. Like you wouldn't think that Godzilla Minus One would become a massive hit that it became. Like out of all the damn things in the world, it's a Godzilla movie. It's a damn Godzilla film. It became one of the biggest box office successes of the year. You think that'd be kind of bizarre because a fucking B movie, a low budget feature, became a box office success. I'm saying that because the budget for this film was not really high at all. But then again, the budget for these films were not usually high anyway, like at all. And yes, compared to the MonsterVerse, yeah, the MonsterVerse, they have far more action, more explosions, more in terms of like how Michael Bay-ish style type thing in comparison to Godzilla Minus One. Yeah, Godzilla Minus One is not about that, like at all. Godzilla Minus One is more about the human drama as it reflects on how the nation lost the war and how it could be embarrassing for some people was going through a situation and how the human characters are stressing out because their homeland was pretty much nuked and there's not just suddenly this giant monster causing havoc, of course, and just destroying a bunch of shit. And you think that you wouldn't be stressful because you think that the worst of the worst is gone. Nope. There's still more to come. There's still more craziness to come. Nope, the worst is not over yet. Because there's this monster coming along, of course. So there you go. But anyway, I mean, yes, you can always argue it's a culture thing. Really, it's a culture thing, in some ways, because of course yeah, the Americans. studios wanted to do something in regards of action-packed type stuff because America is known for doing that kind of a thing anyway.
Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. Will Godzilla, man's friend, be vanquished?
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
All right, we're talking about the same character who walked up to these army people who, mind you, have families of their own. They just trying to defend their land, and he just pretty much barbecues literally everyone as everybody just screams in these explosions.
You freaking psychopath!
Then everybody just dies right there. Yeah, sounds like a swell guy to me, don't you think? Boy. So anyway, that'll be it, folks. I just want to do this real quick here, just so I can have something to do, something to talk about when it comes to giant monsters. Because I don't mind talking about this kind of stuff. So there you go, I guess. Anyway, until next time, as always, thanks for watching and take care. See you.